This show is a Phonic Media production.
Today on the podcast, we're going to talk all about building the dream after last week when Rob Dyrdek, came on and showed us how to live a fully optimised life. We've had a bit of homework to do. Let's go. Pass on the vibe. Whoa. Makes me wait. Hey friend, welcome back to Business Marriage, the number one podcast that's recorded on this fucking coffee table. This table is starting to piss me off, by the way.
Why?
Cost us a fortune back in the day. Do you remember?
Back in the day, like, God, you make it sound well
old. It was like 5 years ago, wasn't it? We bought this thing,
yeah.
But it's just too big. It's too heavy. It gets food in the middle of it. It's disgusting. Yeah. Anyway, you guys don't need to know
just
that.
Rank. There's like scribble marks. There's food from God knows how long.
Anyway,
it's just rank. Hello.
Talk about living the dream.
Hey.
Here's our table.
Yeah.
So I hope you're doing good. Hopefully, if you haven't yet checked it out, check out last week's episode of the podcast.
It was good.
We spoke to Rob Dyrdek. Now, jokes aside, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because we were watching the Arnie documentary last night, right? Amazing.
So good.
But back in the days, so Arnie's idol was this guy who played Hercules in a movie, and then he saw him on the front of like a bodybuilding magazine, and he bought the bodybuilding magazine, and that was what gave him the routine, and he started doing that, and then he ended up meeting 5 or 6 years later. He ended up meeting his idol, and he was just there,
and then got invited to his house after he won a competition,
and then he went to the gym and trained with him. So that was his icon and his hero. I think these days, in the modern social media era, you can sort of look at like a Rob Dyrdek. Oh, that's so cool. We did it. It's fucking Rob Dyrdek.
Rob Dyrdek.
Like, he's absolutely massive. And he's generally someone that I massively respect and look up to.
And he's just chatting away to us.
Just a chat. And I know we've sort of been put out on social media and we've been having a bit of a laugh. Oh, Rob Dyrdek became our life coach and our marriage counsellor. But he gave us one-to-one advice. Yeah.
I mean,
the guy's worth $500 million.
We've still got a long way to go. But
of course. I
have to say, I really, really like him now.
But there you go.
Maybe I'm a fangirl. Maybe he's my first like proper.
Well, we're gonna
inspo.
So what we're gonna
inspo.
No.
Oh God! I'm a wanker.
Say that? Don't be a wanker.
Inspiration. James really gets annoyed
just
when
like when you
I
shorten
don't
words that are
say full words.
Shortened. Anyway, right. Today on the podcast.
Go lime. Sorry, that was an in-joke, but you've just spoke over it.
What?
I was saying go in Lime. So we go to Lime Regis in Dorset, and if I say going to Lime, you get really annoyed that I don't say Lime Regis.
Oh,
anyway.
It just really pisses me off.
Moving on.
Anyway, so today on the podcast, last week we spoke to Rob Dyrdek.
It was
investor,
amazing.
expert, legend, life optimizer. Well, this music's shit, isn't it, when you get to it in a bit?
I feel like maybe I'm a pirate.
Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, I can see you in some tights.
Yeah, I can see you in some tights as a sexy pirate. It's a nice dress, by the way.
Am I Robin Hood or a pirate?
Both.
All right.
Pirate Hood. Anyway, so what we're going to do today on the podcast, we are going to talk, we said this at the end of last week's episode. Last week's episode. Sometimes you don't talk properly. You don't finish sentences properly.
You don't.
Sometimes. She said this to me last week, and now all week I've been like trying to enunciate my words properly.
We're a bit aggressive this morning, aren't we? Because we've had a bit of a bad start to the day. But
George, our 2-year-old, was an absolute little bastard.
Honestly,
morning,
like before we move on,
drag him into nursery.
You know, like sometimes when your kids don't listen, and then you say something like, "If you're not going to listen, you're not going to go to the park before nursery," and then they don't listen. So then you've got that decision to make. Do you back down or do you just follow it through? And we were like, we've got to follow it through. Taking him to nursery was like full, by the time we got there, he's like full on, you know, that hyperventilating, Mammy, I want to go to the park. So I had to hand him over at nursery, and one of the workers come to the door, and she's the most chilled, lovely person.
She's so calm, isn't she?
She's like, oh dear, what's the matter? And I went, yeah, he's having a tantrum. I had to like pick him up off the floor and just hand him over. I was like, see you later. So yeah, that was our morning. She
was like, are you being a cheeky monkey?
Yeah.
I'm thinking more like being a twat.
Yeah.
Try that instead.
Yeah. Anyway.
So today on the podcast, we said at the end of last week's podcast that we would talk about the dream.
The dream I had.
To dream.
The dream.
There's so many good dream songs.
Should we see how many songs? Right, let's play that game where I sing a song.
Okay.
And then you have to do a dream one as well.
Okay.
I have a dream.
Dreams can come true.
Any dream will do. Any dream.
Can't sing that anymore.
Well, no, it's not the Fitz Schofield version. It's the Jason Donovan.
Still can't say with him.
Carry on.
Anyway.
Any dream. Any dream. Come on. Any dream.
Don't you know, dream down, down, get out. Do you know that's Patrick, Professor Brian Cox in the universe?
I think
he was in the band, daydream.
My brain actually can't keep up with this game because I'm like panicking.
Yeah,
just leave it.
Anyway, so we said at the end of last week's podcast, fucking 7 minutes later, we'll actually get to the point that we were going to discuss the dream because we had lots of tactics from Rob last week. He talked about how he plans his diary.
Create the rhythm of your life.
The rhythm of existence.
Rhythm of existence.
So that's what we're going to be talking. What is that?
I did listen. Rhythm.
So we actually... We started to have these conversations now, haven't we? Because we started to look at what it is that we actually want. Because he said one really important thing. He said before he made any money, and this is not all about the money, but he got super clear on the strategy. Before he took any action, he got super clear on the strategy, and then he got everybody on board. And he read a book called Start with the End in Mind. And he's like, that completely shifted my mentality towards business because you've actually got to think about what you want at the end of it. He's like, what are you guys trying to build? What are you trying to build?
We are good. What we've realised, and that's probably going to come out on this show, is that we're good at going like, oh yeah, like we know we want this house and this, that and the other. And we're kind of happy with what we're doing in our business, for example. But then it's actually like, he was saying about with business, you should know almost like the exit plan before you've even started. And I still have no clue. So we're going to go through, well, I'm letting you lead this podcast, which is rare, guys, because normally I like to take control, but not in that way, James. Look at your face. Look at you. You're so smutty, James.
Why?
This is why you look at me like, oh yeah.
You said you made it. You were like,
look at you.
You take control.
Look at you. No, look at your eyes. All like, oh.
Who do you think you are?
Oh. Who do you think you are? Like, who do you actually think you are?
We'll find out, won't we, in this? Right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what we talked about this week. So we had but we had conversations this week about what it is that we actually want. Because again, we got off the call with Rob last week and we always do this thing, right? We've always got a million things going on. The podcast recording's happening in like the middle of the day. You've got to run back off to do some work. I have to pack all the gear up. And we sort of like just went on with our lives. I was like, no, I'm not going to fucking do that this time. We've had an amazing conversation. If you look at that we had like an hour of that guy's time.
That guy.
Robbie D's time.
Robbie D.
And his aim is to be earning £1 million an hour. So I think we've got to generally think we've had £1 million worth of consultancy. So what are we going to fucking go and do with it? Because you and I are great at taking information, taking a little bit of inspiration, taking a little bit of motivation, and doing fuck all with it, bruv. So
if I had a fork, I would just poke my eyes out right now because I feel like... Should I get you a fork?
I'll get views on YouTube. I love the YouTube. The little trolls. They would love that.
Because I'm with you.
Best thing you can do is poke her eyes out.
I get so busy. And then it's like I don't do the things. Like he's basically given us this like blueprint of what to go and do. And it's not that difficult. And we still haven't done it.
Well, but we started to. So Saturday, we had the call with Rob last week, Friday. So on Saturday night, we allocated the time. We said, right, we're not going to watch TV tonight. We're going to have a dinner date. But then...
You were going to cook for me, which ended up you didn't fucking cook.
Yeah, because your mum's freezer are broken, so you come home with loads of like frozen goods. Anyway, we're getting too much into the minute.
People like this stuff though. They like the reality of it. When your freezer packs down.
A defrosted Ruxley sausage, let me tell you. Still good in a pasta.
My mum and dad's freezer broke down and I went around there.
Shut up, no one cares.
Here you go. Here's some hot dogs, burgers, homemade pasta sauce.
Anyway, so that's why the romantic dinner didn't happen, because we ended up with like a load of like freezer burnt food to fucking get through.
Right, so you're making it sound rank now.
Oh, it was lovely.
Anyway, moving on.
So we ended up having dinner early, but I was like, right, let's not watch TV. Let's go and sit outside. It was a lovely day. It was nice in the garden. Citronella candles. You don't pronounce that properly. Citronella candles on outside. And we said, right, what is it that we actually want? And this is really interesting. And I don't know if you guys at home can relate to this. Let's fucking hope so. So some part of this is...
Fucking hell.
But we are so good, especially you. You can list out a million things that you don't want. But if I ask you what you do want, you can't tell me. So when we sat down,
what does that say about me?
Someone tell me. You're an absolute twat. But so we sat down last Saturday out in the garden, and again we were like, right, what is it we actually want? And it's really difficult to work that stuff out, but it makes sense because what Rob was talking about, first name terms, Rob was talking about was you got to know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because really, when you think about it, and I know it sounds like a fucking Google quote, but if you are taking action but you don't know to what end, it is like going on a journey with no map. It's like getting in the car and not knowing your end destination. You're gonna do stuff, you're gonna do the driving, but where the fuck are you going?
It's like getting on a treadmill continuously and not having an end goal.
I love the fact you've gone for a fitness analogy when you.
When I'm in the gym, guys, on my treadmill, I've got a confession. I've never ever ran on a treadmill.
Have you not?
Never. Because I imagine I'd be one of those jokers that go on there, I'll press the wrong button, and then I will be straight off that. I just don't bother. Anyway, we digress. So, yeah, I'm very good at knowing the things I don't want. And there's a few things, I guess like materialistic things that I think, or like the lifestyle, I kind of have a good idea of what I would love. And then it kind of stops. Yeah. So you're going to take me, where are you going to take me? You're going to take me on a journey.
Ain't so CD.
Oh, no, it's like that. You know, when people say that.
So anyway, so when we were sat there chatting, the first thing we thought about was about...
Chatting.
Shut up. The first thing... You're really annoying me today.
I'm in an annoying mood.
I hate when you get in those moods. You're like, because then you're like, poke me. You'll be like, literally, don't touch me.
I was actually going to just poke you.
I know, I find it really annoying. So we were talking about where we want to live, because I guess that's the biggest thing in our life. And again, off the back of last week's podcast, link in the show notes, by the way, if you haven't listened to the podcast. Rob talked to us, the last thing he was chatting to us about was about Forever Estates, which is this like forever home that he's created.
For his generational family.
Yeah, so in 500 years, the Dyrdek family will still meet in this amazing house that runs itself, it's self-sustaining, it has its own sort of circular economy, so it pays for itself, so it's no one's responsibility. It's just like an asset for the family. But he's been planning that. He bought the plot of land for 10 million. He had 12 million quid in complete assets total, $12 million, sorry. And the plot of land cost him 10 mil. So he's like, well, I can't build it because I haven't got any money. So then he's gone on and, you know, made like 400 or 500 additional million. And when he say about Sahota, these are apparently the best architects firm like in the world. Wow. Like they make the best architects. Yeah. I think they're the people who designed Richard Branson's properties on Necker Island, and he's got one in South Africa as well. Anyway, I digress. So we started talking about the house because that's going to be the heart of the home, etc. So that's maybe an obvious place to start. Yeah. But what was the realisation was that for where we live, so we live in South East London, but like a nice bit of South East London. Sorry to the shippers to South East London. You know where you are. Croydon.
You can't say that.
So Stormzy's bought a football club in Croydon.
Yeah, some parts of Croydon are nice.
Okay. Anyway, so we live in the nice bit of South East London, but houses around here are fucking expensive.
Ridiculous, like stupid prices.
So this is what we've done. So we decided what sort of house we'd want. We decided we want a Huff house.
Yeah.
Insert picture here, Sam, of Huff house. Bing. Yeah. So it's like a glass house. It's German manufactured.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And they could build it in 12 weeks.
You can go to like a show home effectively and like go, yeah, this is what I want. But it's beautiful because we've always, coming onto this because you kind of go in there and then you're not going there. But we sat down to talk about our dream. And the first thing...
Hayley will lead this conversation.
No, but the first thing we came up with, which is because I think we both agreed, was the kind of like house that we wanted. Because...
This is exactly what I was just saying.
Oh, okay.
Shut going there? You're not going there.
Well, it feels like you're still doing an intro. I'll let you carry on.
Do you know what? Turn my microphone off. You fucking do it. Go on.
Oh, no, you just turned me off now.
Go on.
No, don't do this.
Come on then.
Just carry on. I don't know what you were saying.
What were you saying?
No, carry on.
It was not getting there. We're not getting there. It was not getting there. We're not getting there. I'm really pleased. This is probably going to be the most boring episode ever, but I'm glad that the listener gets to meet the real you. Because you on the podcast, I was like, so she's angry. So funny. She's so engaging.
I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, Pippa Savoury. And
that's a great surname, isn't it?
Oh no, it's great. I've worked with her as well.
Imagine if her other half had started his original name was Sweet and Savoury. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Carry on.
I'm sure her sister's got a name that's something to do with that. I have to find out. I can't remember. No, but she was just saying how I was saying how I'm obviously quite funny, but when I post online, I'm not actually that funny. So I'm actually trying to, now I'm like thinking about being funny, like I'm not that funny anymore.
No. God. Anymore? When were you funny?
I don't know.
Anyway, so we started with the house and we realised what we want. We want a Huff house. Yeah. On probably a couple of acres of land.
That was a bit of a journey though. We knew that we wanted a house in the town we live.
But this was, on Saturday night. So we actually did this though, didn't we? We had our laptops out. We would talk about what we wanted and we literally almost like vision boarded the type of house.
And it's a strange,
made it more real.
Not a strange thing, but you know, you could live anywhere in the world. And we've often said, oh, you know, maybe we'd love to live in Spain. We love Spain. And then I've got family in Australia. But then I think with our kids going into school, we are pretty set on having the kind of, I guess, what you'd call a more traditional lifestyle. So we'll have like a family home in the area where our kids go to school and grow up. So for us, the kind of the house is actually really integral for us because, you know, probably like many of us, the house, it's what the house will represent. So we started talking about like a dream home. So what would we want in that dream home? So it's obviously we like this whole like wooden and glass, like Huff houses just hit that nail on the head. But it's like, how does the house work? So for me, I love like entertaining, having people over. So I've always said I really want that kind of outdoor, indoory vibe. And then we found these pictures, didn't we, where it's almost like it's outdoor, but it's under like a, I don't know what you'd call it, like a canopy sort of thing.
Yeah, like a fixed canopy.
But you'd have like maybe a fire pit out there and like all like sunk like seating, and then you could have like a pool.
Oh, the houses were amazing.
And we were like, you could have a cinema room, you could have a really nice gym, a library room. Like, and when you start thinking about it, it's like, imagine that, and like the kids could have like a, you know, like a room like they hang out in with like a pool table, and then all of a sudden your house you start thinking about how you're living in that house. So like a kitchen with like a big island, big double fridge where it's just like stocked with food, like a pantry where there's like healthy snacks that the kids can go and like.
But I think this level of specificity, I think that's what's really important, because then it actually makes it real.
Yeah.
You start to, and you said there, you start to feel how you would live in a house.
Yeah, and then when,
rather than just like, oh, like a big old gaff.
Yeah,
but like, how does it
like,
work? What does it feel like when you walk
and
up
like,
to it,
I
when
can
your friends come?
imagine like in the bedroom, and this is, and guys, seriously, like if anyone's listening, going, oh my god, like you don't want much, like what was that? I missed. Say that again. Say it again.
So good.
Say it again now.
You said about like, and then in the bedroom, and I said it's going to get filthy. you just carry on talking straight over the top.
Well, to be fair, in my dream life, I don't wear maternity underwear anymore. I've got a drawer that comes out, and it's got like matching.
I think it will be easier to get a
underwears.
£4 million house than to get you out of those pants.
True. Should we check out your pants one day? Rank. Look at those.
What's wrong with them?
I mean,
army pants.
Some days, James, you turn up and I'm like, really?
Anyway, back to the point of the actual subject. Catty bitch.
So, but yeah, some people might think, oh, this sounds like far-fetched, but we were like, no, we have to dream.
It should be far-fetched.
It's like the ideal. Like, I'm chucking it out there. I love spending time at home. So for me, having a home that is like...
Why are you chucking that out there?
Well, because that sounds a bit boring, isn't it? Whereas more people just want to go out and do stuff. Like for me, having a home that almost like creates almost like an experience that works with our lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like I've always liked the thought of like when the kids are a bit older that they could bring their mates over to hang out, and there's always like, there's always like food, and there's always just like a nice like vibe in the house, and you know, a nice like garden. Just, I don't know, like the bedroom, I've always had this dream where it would be, so you'd have like this nice big sort of room. I love the idea, you know, where they have like the baths that overlook, you know, you've got like a window and like a bath. I love that. And then dream would be, so like a shared bathroom with like double sinks in the middle. And then as you go off either side, you've got almost like your own shower and then your own walk-in wardrobe. Imagine that.
Nice.
Think Sex in the City, Carrie, she's like her walk-in wardrobe, like that kind of thing on either side. Imagine that of all your clothes. And do you know what it does for me when I think about this? And I start thinking about having a house like that, how your lives would be. Like, do you know what becomes apparent? It's like a feeling of organisation. I get this feeling of like everything has its place. Everything's in order. Like when I'm thinking about my walk-in wardrobe, it's not like my fucking spare room, which looks like, honestly, it is such a mess up there because we do all the washing, we take it up, then it sits there in piles. Everyone just sort of ignores it until someone actually finally fucking gives in to put that shit away. And then we don't iron it until we need to. It's like, honestly, and I sometimes think, is this how we live our life? You never used to be like that. You used to be so tidy.
Yeah,
and you're not. You've just literally let yourself go.
You've let me go.
You've really let yourself go.
Let it go. Let it go.
But no, it creates this feeling of being in control. feeling organised and like having space. And I think that's interesting because they're probably 3 things right now that I feel like is completely lacking in my life.
But here's I think this is really, really interesting.
Is it?
Yes, it's really interesting.
Guys, listen up.
Hold tight, guys. It's going to get interesting. No, it actually is. But what you've said there, so we're saying that we want the big house and you've got this and you've got the space and the organisation.
I say a big house. I don't know how big it is, but...
It's fucking massive.
Well, but it's not... I don't want a massive house.
I do, fuck that.
But I want a house that has got all the rooms that we need. Anyway.
Are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ha.
But this is the interesting thing,
is
right?
Is it?
Shut up. You'll be so annoyed today. The interesting thing, yes, is that... what the house is going to give you is a feeling.
Yeah.
But you can create the feeling now.
Yeah, see, this is it.
So you think you have to have the stuff to have the feeling. But you actually...
We fist bumped.
But actually, if you have the feeling, that is what helps you to get towards the stuff.
I got a feeling, honestly.
But so with like being organised and having space and all that stuff, I think when you're in a situation... like what we're in at the moment, we're super, super busy. It feels like a juggling act every day. From the second you get up to the second you go to bed, it's like plate spinning, working till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. It's fucking tough. And things like being organised, doing the shopping, keeping on top of the housework, clean clothes,
like bills.
ironing.
I don't even open my letters, guys. Like seriously, like I just leave. I get letters.
Because it's overwhelmed.
They just sit there.
It's overwhelmed.
And then I've got like dentist to book for the kids, like a doctor's appointment to chase up, and it's like, oh.
But you haven't got any cognitive space.
No, but it's
your brain can only handle 7 plus or minus 2 pieces of information.
You are so right, though, and I think that you've actually hit the nail on the head. So when I'm talking about a dream life, what I get is a feeling. Oh, sorry, is a feeling. So when you actually then drill me on what does it actually look like, I can't
let it go. Go on, I'll drill your what?
Oh God,
I couldn't. You put it out there.
I don't put it out there, though, do I?
Put it out there. You put it out there.
Oh God!
And I grabbed onto it like a dirty little claw hand. Go on.
Oh, you got a claw hand like Jeremy Beadle.
Not Jeremy Beadle.
He had like a little hand, didn't
I'm going to have to cut this out. We're going to get cancelled.
Are we?
Nah, fuck it.
Sorry. No, I didn't mean that offensively, but you did actually have a small hand.
Why are you going like that? Because is he fisting people now?
No, he had one small hand, didn't he?
Stop, just get over your point, for fuck's sake.
Oh,
he's dead, isn't he, Jeremy Beadle?
I think so. What was it he used to host? What was the great show that he used to host? Beadle's About. Watch out. Beadle's About. Do you remember? It was like a prank show.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
They used to like tow someone's car away or like pretend like something's just fallen on it and smashed the car. Lol.
Back to the point.
I've actually forgotten what I was talking about.
You're talking about Jeremy Beadle's hand.
Honestly, I'm definitely going through perimenopause. My memory is shot to bits. I actually don't know.
Feeling. You were saying it's about a feeling.
Feeling. I am very good at describing the
you said if I drill you. Sorry, that's where we're about to. So if I drill you.
All right. I'm very good at describing things that I feel that are going to give me the feeling that I want. So like that.
What?
Oh, I don't know. That was really confusing. So like,
really good
I can see myself in the house. It's not necessarily
so
about
powerful,
the legit, like the. I can't explain it because it is about the material of the house, but I'm not seeing how it's decorated and all things like that necessarily. It's more like I can just see how we would use it as a family, how that house would enhance our life. And then that's why then, for me, it then moves on to like experiences. So the dream life would be that, every kind of school holiday, we have like a trip booked in where we can all go and spend time together. Because, right now, if we're honest, with where we're at in the business, we do have holidays. We've been like UK holidays, nothing wrong with that. But it's not as much as we love to travel. Not like, put your backpack on and travel around the globe. But you know what I mean? We love going away, don't we? Like, I would say we're more about experiences than materialistic products. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like some people, no right or wrong, would rather spend money on a handbag for like £1,000 and then go on a holiday, whereas we'd be the other way.
Yeah.
And we haven't really had that luxury, have we, over the last few years?
No.
So again, it comes down to the dream life would be having those experiences. But then when you drill down in, okay, so to have that dream life is going to cost you X amount of money. So then how are you going to afford that and make that money, then it kind of gets a little bit like, oh, now I don't know.
Yeah, so this is the bit where it got tricky. So when we were looking at this the other day, so for like a huff house on the sort of plot of land that we would need, and I say plot of land, like it's not big. We don't want to live in the middle of nowhere. It's just not our vibe. We want to live like near like a nice. We've got a lovely town called Chislehurst. We want to live.
Oh yeah, just tell everyone where we live.
Why not? Well, you're going to come and stalk you now because you're such a big celebrity.
Yeah, they might just hang around street corners.
Oh, yeah. Because they couldn't work out anyway, could they, from like Mirabelle and all the other stuff that we talk about. But anyway, by the way, if you do see Hayley in the street, guys, please don't approach her because she's...
No, do. If you're a fan, come and tell me that you love me and I'll be like, oh my God, you've made my dreams come true.
You are so fragile, honestly.
Emotionally fragile. I so need you. I'm so needy.
But when we were looking at what we would need for that property, you're looking at like 3.5-4 million quid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's because of the land.
Because of where it is. So we found
Get off my land.
There's two roads that we want to live on, like either Camden Park Road or Wilderness Road.
Chuck it all out there, are we?
Oh, but if you go and Google them places, Chislehurst, Camden Park Road or Wilderness Road, they are fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, they are
like dream house stuff. But what's really interesting is that, so we talked about it on Saturday, and on Sunday...
You went out?
I went out. I said, I'm going to run. And I ran down those roads. Yeah. And I imagined myself, I was laughing. I was running along. Looked like a mental person.
Who tried running and laughing? I never run and laugh.
You don't do either of those things, do you? Run or laugh, you sour fucker. Anyway, so
I've got resting bitch
I was running along, but you could imagine, like, talk about the feeling. I could feel what it would be like to live on that street.
Did you?
Oh, it was unreal. There was just like a...
Did you get tingles down below? Did you?
No.
So like, ooh.
But you know when you like, just like, I guess what people class as like centered or grounded.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh.
Did it feel like it's going to happen?
Yeah.
No, right now,
I was like,
sure.
yeah, that's cool. But what was interesting is that during that time as well, that there was that thing of going, fucking hell, 3.5 million quid's a lot of dough.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of dough, like, have it right. But again, this is what happens. This is why I think maybe me and you don't not get stuck where we are, but even in the imagination phase, I can't get myself out of logistics. So I'm looking at that. So I looked at the house, right, which is 3 million quid. He said, right, let's put down 750,000 quid on it. Let's just chuck 750,000 quid down on it. And then the mortgage at the moment, because the mortgage rate's going. So this is what I've done. So I'm looking at it. So it's like 20,000 quid a month. So then I'm going, fuck, I've got to make a lot of podcasts for 20 grand a month for the rent.
Yeah.
Plus, then you got to build up a pot of £750,000.
But that was what was quite interesting because
isn't it mad how your mind
like the
works?
opposite though. So I'm someone who's like, yeah, 3.5 million quid, we can get that, no problem. Yeah, I mean, obviously now the mortgage rate's gone like that. I mean, that's just crazy money. Who's going to be paying that?
Oh yeah, that's the biggest challenge with 3.5 million quid.
No, but I'm telling you how I see things. I'm saying I've always been someone who I don't see issues. I just see, yeah, you can make that money. I can honestly, I've always been like,
right, you say this, and I love you.
No,
but how?
No, but this is what. If you let me talk,
I am letting you talk.
Don't do that patronising, holding my hand. That was really annoying. Don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Quiet down. You know, like,
I wasn't trying to quieten you down.
Listen to what I'm about to say.
I've
always been someone who dreams of like, yeah, we can get 3.5 million quid. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we'd be able to afford that. Yeah, so like the dream bit.
I didn't say anything.
But then I never actually sit down and work out what would it actually take to get there. Because then when I did it the other day, I was like, actually, the reality of leading that life, you're going to have to earn a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And then if you need to earn that kind of money and you're not thinking about scaling up your team or growing your business, like how the fuck are you actually going to get there? So I'm really good at going, yeah, we can totally do that. But I would just like let life happen. I've said this before. It's like it's a difference between, and it's again what Rob Dyrdek said, so many people just go with the flow. They're always waiting for tomorrow. Like you've got to decide what it is you want and then go and make it happen.
Well, you said on the end of the last podcast, in a moment of just absolute genius clarity, but you said that actually that when you look at these dreams, maybe it makes you realise that the life that you've got at the moment, or the model or the vehicle that you've got, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because like in our current format, for example,
we ain't getting there.
We're not getting to 20,000 quid a month.
Like I'm already maxed out.
You're maxed out, and you're okay, you wouldn't have to make 20 grand by yourself, but for a bank to lend you that money, they've got to, I think it's like what, 4 or 5 times salary that they'll lend you. So if you need £2.5 million, you've got to be doing £500,000 a year. Salary. Yeah. Fucking salary.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to get to that point? Yeah. Like become like some fucking hedge fund wanker or something, I guess.
Well, no, but then we know people in
hedge fund
industries
wankers
that are earning, you know, smashing it, you know, by in the service business space. We know how it can be done, but it's like we get so bogged down in the running of our businesses. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you knew so clearly, honestly, like so clearly that in X amount of years' time, that's the house you want, or... Yeah. Do you see what I mean? That's how much money you need. Would it change how you drive your business?
100%. It would have to,
because then I need a reality check, because I do not do that. Even after all the coaching I've had, which has been phenomenal, it's changed my mindset. I'm, you know, mentally more resilient than I ever have before. My business is going amazing. It's great, but I still just am going in the same circle. I get super busy. Then I put all the work first. I'm not driving it forward. Then what happens is I finish all those amazing projects and it's like, I didn't do that thing I said about driving it forward. And that's what I'm getting at. It's like we've had that amazing, almost like coaching session with Rob Dyrdek. It's now a week later, we're sat here. We've had one conversation about it, which was great. Don't get me wrong. But really, what else? What else have we done?
I ran down the street.
You ran down the street?
I worked out the mortgage price.
You know, I'm trying to take on a new team member and I've not even ring-fenced the time to go back to their application. So
this is why I think the beauty of a goal, and I've never been, I also am not that good at goal setting. I'm nearly fucking 40 years old. I've just still never, I don't know why, just have a real...
God, you look good for your age.
Thank you. Thank you. But I've never been that good at putting something on paper and then executing on it. I don't know whether it's a fear thing. I don't know whether it's because I go back to it. I would have said like you're
really good at like...
No.
I don't know.
I am...
You're like a checklist guy.
I'm a checklist guy, but I do the checklists to keep myself on track because otherwise I'll get scattergunned. Yeah. So like if you look at my to-do list, I know what I've got to do today. Yeah. But I don't know what I need to do if I want to get the business to say do £250,000 turnover in the next 8 months. Yeah. I don't know what I've got to do that.
But if you knew, would it change?
Well, I think it would. So to your point, so when we're now looking at these houses and stuff, I've had conversations this week, right? And it sounds like daft, okay? But knowing that we need a house, or knowing that we don't need, or do we have to pretend it's a need? Knowing that we want a house that's worth £3.5 million. And again, not the value of the house, it's what the house will do for us. But for the style and the size and all the rest of it, we need that sort of money. I've had conversations this week and people have said to me, I don't think I can afford that. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, fine. And then they've come back and go, actually, I will do it. Yeah. I have not fucking budged on price. Yeah. I've got quite structured and strict with price anyway. Like I don't negotiate. I had a client actually tag me on LinkedIn, said, James is amazing at podcasts, but fuck me, don't try and negotiate with him because he will just fucking sack you off.
But you know the time it takes your team to do the work.
And also, but I think because of knowing what the bigger picture would be, and someone's like, I can't afford 15 grand for a podcast series launch. Well, then you shouldn't work with us. Yeah. Because there's plenty of people that will pay that. And then your job becomes growing into the person who attracts the 15 grand podcast launch clients. So I think it will help you to do the incremental steps. Because again, you look at A, where you're at, and Z. Yeah. And you're like, oh, here's where we're at. Here's where we want to go. You never infill. No. But I go, here's where we are. Here's the first 2 or 3 steps. Oh, that's going to be difficult. So I get from A, B, I maybe get up to D, and then I've talked myself back down to B. Whereas you're sat at Z going, hey. Yeah. Hey.
And then, but when we're like talking about the dream life and like the home life and like, you know, that feeling of like having this a great space, but it's more like imagining us all be there together, like the kids will love it. It's a very like, there's good energy in the house and all that, like feeling of organised, everything's got its place, there's systems, got a nice office at home. Then I also see like, oh, maybe I've got an office and a team, you know, and then I start thinking about that and I'm like, oh, okay, so how am I spending my day? Sometimes I'm in an office with my team, sometimes at home. Then you start thinking, well, okay, well, if I'm seeing a team, like, how does that look like? Because that means that I've got people, you know, in the UK who are coming to a location. Oh, where's that location? well, I wouldn't want to get on a train every day. Like, and then you start, and then you get a bit like, then it gets a bit like, oh my God, like.
I don't know what the right way to do it is.
No, I know. It's a bit like...
Because you can't just look at the big shiny end result, the trophy.
Yeah.
But then, like, say, if you get too bogged down in the steps, then you come back, you almost have to dream so big that your imagination leads you down the path.
Yeah.
But then you've got to take the steps down the path.
Yeah.
But maybe, just maybe, it's about understanding who is the person that you need to become, or the person, who is it that you want to become in order to get those results. And then you do those things. Because, for example, you have got a nice home office.
Yeah.
We can all be together. We can have an organisation. So maybe when you get those things lined up, you know, you have to create the environment that you want to have. Because we can have it here and now.
We know that we're going to need food, right, to eat every day. So if we just got more organised, and it sounds so basic, and I bet there are so many people listening that completely resonate with this, but like getting organised so you've got a weekly shop that turns up.
Yeah.
Putting your washing away, or even ironing it if you iron, before it goes in the cupboards. Like creating a clear space and all those things, like you say, are completely doable. And I've said this before, it's like you live in this life of like, there's this me, which might be called like maybe the alt self or the real self. And then you've got this person that you want to be, but actually you need to be that person all the time. Yeah. So like I'm talking at an event next week, or would it have been this week? I don't know when this is going out. I shouldn't say that, should I? Because it's listener. It should be now. It is now. Next week.
Fucking hell, I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
No, this week, coming up. I'm doing an event this week.
Oh my God.
No, but then
Click
it's
the
like...
link in the show notes, you can get a ticket for this event.
But what I'm saying is, that was on my list this year. One of the things that I wanted to do was start doing more public speaking about branding, personal branding, etc. So I'm super excited. I'm talking at the Female Founders Summit. There's some really great masterclasses and keynotes. And then it's almost like how I want to turn up, how I want to be. It's like, there's this like image of, not like it's me, do you know what I mean? But I want to go feeling like organised, feeling in control, feeling like, like turn up.
Well, you always, I sort of like, I don't know whether I've actually like ever verbalised that I make this joke in my head or to you in person or not. But like I could honestly think that you're having an affair by how you get yourself ready. I had the difference in how you get ready when you're going out to see other people. Because when we're in the house together, I mean, if you can actually drag yourself out of bed and get some clothes on, it's wonderful. When you go out, you
make me sound like I lay in bed every day. I'm joking. What are you talking about?
Like you paint your nails, you do fake tan.
Yeah, but it's just like you
do all these
different
things. But again, you have to. I think you have to do that for yourself, because then you become that person. Because that alt self, fucking real self,
no,
whatever.
You're right.
There's only
you're so
one
right.
of you.
Like I see people who've had their nails done. It sounds like such a silly thing. Like one of my friends from the school, she's been on holiday. She had her nails done. They look really nice. I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. But like, I can't justify right now going and spending loads of money on this, that, the other. But I could easily paint my nails at home. Does that make sense? And it's like, you're right. You know, that is always, again, though, been a trait of mine. I don't know, again, if this is, anyone else can resonate, but it's like, I've always been someone that, like, if I've got an event coming up, or say you're going to a wedding, or it's almost like when I have my reunion weekends with my friend, there's almost like a prep.
I'm going to get,
There's like a prep.
I'm going to get purition. I'm going to get healthy this week.
Prep mode, like I want to, because you want to feel good. And you're so right. Like, why would I not want to feel like that all of the time?
And that's maybe, again, go back to the conversation we had with Rob.
Interesting.
Like what he does on a daily basis, and what I'm trying to get to is that feeling of being the best version of you.
But you're the same though, like not in a bad way. Like,
you won't be able to see it because of the camera angles, but she's literally looking at me up and down.
But sometimes when I look at you and I think, what? You just pick up whatever you're wearing and like.
But I do that all the time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You've never been into your fashion, let's face it. But surely there's like, you know, like both of us, there's things like I work from home, but because I do like the school run, that like you do, I guess, make more of an effort. But sometimes I don't have to like put makeup on. Not that you have to wear makeup, but what I'm saying, it's like, what makes you the best version of you? And it's then designing that. So like I was laughing, I was saying, you know, maybe it would be getting up early before the kids. So last week, do you remember I set my alarm? I thought, that's it. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to be the first one downstairs. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and I'm just going to sit and enjoy the peace. So my alarm went off, come downstairs. You decide to get up at the same time. So I was like, okay, cool. Go downstairs. Louis, somehow, he's already up. And he's put the telly on by himself.
Got himself some breakfast.
And he's just sat there.
Yeah.
I'm like, no idea. He's never done that. And I was laughing. So like my chill day, but I haven't done that again.
No.
But then at the same time, then I have to really evaluate that because I also like my sleep, right? As in, I'm like, if I can get 8 hours a night, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
But then because we're working in the evenings, what happens? We then like start catching up after we finish work, nattering, then we might be like, oh, should we watch some telly? We're going to bed later and later and later. And it's like, I don't want to work in the evenings. But again, how am I back in this position? Didn't I say a few weeks back, I don't want to be doing this?
But this is where...
And yet I am here again.
But if you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always got.
I know.
And
So-
you and I both just go around in circles again and again and again. But the circle keeps getting bigger. So this is the thing, right? So you've like, oh, how am I in this position again? Because you've got loads more clients again.
Yeah.
So you're bringing in loads more money. So
Yeah.
you're doing loads more work, which is getting loads more traction.
Yeah.
And there's loads more people. When you do, let's say, for example, you work with 5 new clients a month, and there's 5 people, because you're great at what you do, then there's 5 people who are waving a flag for you. So
Do I need to- I haven't done
those
a plug
5
for a
people,
while.
yeah, you haven't actually. Do you want to plug yourself? Here you go.
Hi guys, if you need brand strategy, brand design, I'm your gal. I said gal.
Gail?
Gal. I'm your gal. Yeah, Orange Lamb, branding design, website, logo. That was awful. Even like the
That is
worst plug
terrible.
ever.
Absolutely awful. Anyway, if you
Can
want
you do a plug for me? So I feel like I've really let myself down.
No, everyone fucking knows what you do by this
Check me
point
out,
anyway.
orangelamb.co.uk.
Checking me out. But yes, so we are going in a circle, but the circle keeps getting bigger. But you have to
Bigger how?
Because if you're just staying you're doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but you are getting bigger results,
Oh,
which is a
right.
bit weird because
Yeah.
your clients are getting bigger, so your money's getting bigger, but you are still just doing the same thing. But it is and people say this all the time. It's a fucking another Google quote. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
But it's what you and I always do.
Okay, so
what are we going? So what do we want to do
so we've
about it?
identified a bit of a dream lifestyle,
Yeah.
shall we say?
Yeah.
What we need to work on is like
Getting
the
3.5
dream
million quid.
business.
Yeah.
Like I love what I'm doing. Generally love what I'm doing. Do you know what I've noticed for me though as well? Like the clients that I work with, it's for me the seeing the support, how supported they feel and those connections. So, I was saying to you, wasn't I? Like if I was to really sit about, what would the dream business be? Then I think, I could imagine growing it and having, doing more like group training with people on brands and all that. Like if you let yourself dream, but then you've also got to be realistic and have that journey. So I think I definitely need to work on that kind of vision of what I want it to be. Because if someone said to me, what do you want Orange Lamb to become? Do you know what I mean? How do you see it? I know that I have a rough idea that I know how many kind of staff that I want and the kind of services we're offering, but then to really scale and to have the money that we're talking about, how do you get to there?
Well, that's what you spend your time.
I know. And then
looking
I
at.
think with us,
Because like we said earlier on, the house and the lifestyle that we sort of dream and aspire to have is absolutely categorically not possible
yeah,
with the businesses in the format that we've got.
yeah.
Either of us.
But then
Mine's got a
but
little
then
bit
we
more
get
scalability because I've got a couple of additional people.
But then we get triggered and we get really excited. And the thing is with you and I, we've got a lot of knowledge about a lot of things that we could do, that we could implement in the business that would work. And then we don't have the time to really absorb into those ideas because we get pulled into our work, right? And then those
you have to pull
ideas,
yourself out of the work.
and then those ideas almost become an afterthought. And then what happens, this is both of us, we're then posting online and all that, and then we're like, why is our
fucking
engagement
point? Yeah,
not
yeah.
here? What? And it's because we're not allocating the amount of time to really go in and
I don't think that you and I spend enough time focused on the end outcome
Yeah.
of the stuff. Me and you we will work and work
Yeah.
and work, right? There's no, and I'm proud of our work ethic.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
yeah.
The fact that we've gone from various jobs and various careers or whatever it may be to now the fact that we both run our own thing. We will, work around the kids don't know how stressed we are. I don't think. I hope not.
No.
The kids don't know about all of the stresses and strains of daily life, because when they're here, we're pretty good at being present. We're not always amazing. We don't always get it right, but we do a pretty good job, I would say. So with that regard, I'm really proud. You know, last night, came home, had been a fucking busy day. Came home, got the kids, played in the garden for a bit. They had their dinner. They played around for a bit more.
We all sat outside, didn't we? And had
outside
dinner
to have dinner, because George dictated that he wanted everyone to go outside to eat our dinner. So we went outside and ate our dinner. Put them to bed. Happy days. You had a client call at 7:30. I sat on a laptop for another 2.5 hours onboarding a new client, who's an old client who's come back to us. That's a good sign of running a good business, when people come back to you. And then before you knew it was 9:30. Okay, that's fine. It is what it is. But if that's what you always do, you're only going to grow to the capacity of
definitely.
You're only going to grow to your individual capacity.
Yeah, definitely.
So actually, like you said, you've been, 2 weeks ago, you put a job spec out, and then you had loads and loads of people, and you shortlisted it to 4 or 5, and then you put it out to them, you give them a little task to do, and only one of them has come through and done it. Yeah. Okay, so from 60 CVs... to 5 that you liked and 1, but that's because you're so busy doing the day-to-day. So I think what you have to do in this instance, you're going to have to get to a point where you just draw a line. Yeah. You've just got to draw a line in the sand, and you just got to say, right. And it sounds fucking ridiculous. For people who've got like a normal job, this might sound ridiculous, but during the daytime, that is your client's work time. Go and do the school run, kids' dinner, put the kids to bed. This is for both of us, by the way. I'm not being like a misogynistic man, like, this is what you will do. Yeah. But between the two of us, we do that. And then anything you do in the evening, you make a fucking hard and fast rule. Anything in the evening is only for the betterment of yourself, i.e. your own growth. Yeah, it's like learning, working growth, on the business, and development. Yeah. So you could bundle into that. Yeah. Like the CVs, go through the CVs. Okay, well, I didn't get the right sorts of CVs. Can I put the job spec out again? Or what do I need to do? Or... that sort of stuff. But at the moment, if you don't, again, it's so difficult because you're so busy. Yeah. But like we've been out to sports day this morning, for example, right? And while you're there watching school sports day, which was great. But I mean, it's not like full on competitive sports day, is it? But semi-competitive. Shout out to Louis, who won the long beanbag throw. Oh, he did, yeah. Smashed it. He looked well proud of himself, didn't he? He sat there like all the other kids, quite hot. All the other kids are there in their t-shirts, and he just sat there with his hoodie. Yeah, he never wears a hoodie, but I gave him one. He was just like, he was in the zone today. I'm sure he like growled at a teammate. He did, and he went like that. He had aerodynamic hands for the running race. I mean, it didn't help him, but it was fucking fantastic. But while you're there watching that, so we, for a couple of hours, you're not earning any money. And then you're in a situation where you've got to come back, and now you've got to chase. It's stressful. And you said this morning you've got a client who sent you something yesterday for a project, and they're still expecting, they wanted it finished by Monday, but they only sent you the fucking assets to work on yesterday. So now that's become your problem. So tonight you're going to work on the betterment of your life and your business and your development. Of course you're not. But at some point, if you keep doing the same shit, you're going to get the same shit. I think as well, how much shit do you want? Shit face. Shit face. Hopefully Ali in the office can take like a gigantic cartoon shit. I also feel, so like this has kind of been I don't think we've told anyone episode where we haven't really done, we haven't gone through it and designed the life, which I thought that's what we were going to do. I thought we were as well, but we've ended up talking about how just kind of moaning because I feel like we're not going to get to that. No. But it's a really good, I think it's so just to summarise. I think I'll give up. No, to summarise, it's like stepping into the person you want to be now and not waiting. It's not the house that's going to make you that person, okay? Like, I just saying this week. We could be that now. I've got to get it. And it's like, understanding that we do put these kind of barriers or these... oh, well, when we've done this, we'll get that. Like, oh, I'll wait for that to be that. And it's like, no, we need to start being these people now. And the other thing I love that Rob was saying, he obviously emails his wife and, it was quite funny. Like, he emails her to tell her what is going on. That day, yeah. But actually, I love that. And I think maybe that's something that we could... But we did do this at the weekend as well. We have been sort of telling each other what we've got going on, but a bit more than that to actually go, right, come on, like spend part of each day actually like... talking through, like we should every week we should be planning through the week, then we should have like a daily like catch up of like what's going on, what's got, I think he might have accidentally unveiled the secret of all success. I really do, because for goal setting, planning, growth, you know, all that stuff, manifesting, visualization is obviously super important. You know, again, we're watching the Arnie documentary and he visualized winning Mr. Universe when he was 20 years old. He imagined what it would look like as he lifted the trophy and everyone was there. And he said it literally was like my vision.
What was the quote? He said it, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's almost like he just said to himself, if I can visualize it, it means it's real. Yeah. If he can see it in his mind's eye.
Your brain doesn't know the difference. Yeah. A picture that you see in your mind, it doesn't know whether it's true or false. Yeah. It's only us that gives it its meaning. But what was I saying? I've forgotten now. Oh, the unveiling of the top secret thing. So, for example, you know, what's the end outcome? The house with the flexibility for the kids to be there, and the nice pantry and the swimming pool in the garden and all that's the outcome, right? But so you focus on that. But actually, the person that you have to become to be worthy of that, and I think you've got to be worthy of that, is the person who sends an email every day saying this is what's going on, or does plan, or does book the shopping in for the same time every week. It does on a Sunday, because again, we're so fucking busy. You know, we put the kids to bed at 7 o'clock. It's normally been like a manic weekend. I get the bundle of fucking washing out to start doing the ironing for the next week. You jump back on to do more fucking client work that you're fucking late delivering. But again, blah, blah, blah.
Late.
But
never late. Oh, Thank you. Never late.
Orange lamb.
Brandon.
Never late.
Strategy.
Anyway, but that's the reality. But what would it look like if instead of that on a Sunday night, we had like our connection night?
Oh, connect.
And we said, right, what are we going to do for this week? Like, what have we got coming on? We did it a little bit last week. We're like, right, I'm here in these days and this is what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. But actually, to have that connection, I think is super important. And then maybe you do sit there and fucking visualize the house every week, or you do, you know, you start to take, I don't know, you know, there's incremental things that you do, but you're so focused on the doing of the big stuff. Anyway.
Oh, tell me.
Right.
You met someone really cool,
I met someone amazing this week. So I launched another podcast. Hey, guys, if you like a podcast, go to phonic.media. That's phonic.media. Phonic.media. We've now launched 169 podcasts around the world for celebrities, influencers, actors, athletes, entrepreneurs, and people who make their money in the expert economy.
And people that chat shit like us.
Luckily, we don't do too many of them. But I went to this event, right? So this was Fitness Marketing Agency. They're a massive agency for fitness businesses, ironically, given the name. And they launched their podcast this week. And because I'd done some consultancy, they said, hey, come down to our event. And they had an amazing speaker on. It was at the Amex Stadium, Brighton Football Club's stadium. It's fucking amazing. And they had this incredible speaker on. Let me see if I can find the picture, right? And I got to sit and have lunch with her, called Patty Dobrovolsky. I don't know why I did it with that accent. She's American, not Eastern European, but there you go. It must be from Eastern Europe, though, that name, mustn't it? You can find her. We'll put a link in the show notes, at Up Your Creative Genius. And she's a former Broadway actress, and she's an artist and an illustrator. But she basically helps you to get clarity on your goals. Yeah. And she helps you to draw your future self.
I've seen her. I don't know how I came across
TEDx,
her.
she's done loads of TEDx
but I don't
stuff.
know what... It would have been someone had recommended it or I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind.
So anyway, she did this amazing, and you know, 200 business owners in the room. And she does this thing. You won't be able to see it this well on the camera, potentially. We'll take a photo of it. Click the link in the show notes. We'll put a photo of it onto Instagram. But it's basically, draw your ideal future. And she talks about the psychology, because your brain, again, putting pen to paper, cognitively does something. So she got us to start with, you do this with your finger in the air. You do like a figure of 8. Because that calms down your sympathetic nervous system. And then she got us to do like a squiggly line all around the outside of the page, because again, the physical act of putting pen on paper and doing that, doodling, activates your creative side of your brain, 75% higher, whatever it is. But this was the interesting thing. I'm probably going to butcher the stats. By drawing something, you are 65 times more likely for it to absorb into your subconscious.
Really?
So from saying the goals that you want and saying the house you want, etc., is one thing. But by drawing it, you're 65 times harder embedding it into your mind. And when I did a training course a little while ago, I say a little while ago, years ago, they did something called the neurological levels of learning. So how much information you retain is based on how you absorb it, and part of it was drawing it or writing it down. Anyway, so she walked us through this whole process of drawing your future. And at the top, I wrote this down. She said it at the end, and it was just like an off-the-cuff remark. But I was like, fuck, that's so powerful. She might have even said it to me at lunchtime, actually. But she talked about step into the person that you want to be.
Brilliant.
And I've heard Grant Cardone say this. Imagine there's a documentary crew following you around. Like what you're talking about, like when you're going out to meet other people, or you go to these events, or you go to the Albright, whatever it is, like networking with other peers, and the person that you are on those days, who gets up early, who's driven, who all that stuff, that's supposed to need to be every day. That's got to be the focus. Anyway, so we looked at, and we'll actually get Patty on because she said she'll come onto the podcast, which would be
really?
yeah. So we'll actually do this process with her live. But the draw your future. So you look at where your current reality, where you're at now. Then you look at your desired reality.
Yeah.
On the right side of the page, and then you look at the 3 bold steps. There's only 3 steps that you need to take to get to that desired outcome. So I looked at where we're at right now. I said, okay, and I've just done it for the business, because it was like a business context, but you could do it for your life as well. And it said, right, what's your current reality? So I drew like the team, and it was like, right, well, write down the key things. So I've written down the team. At the moment, they are committed, they're focused, we're a small team, but they're all excited, they're dedicated, they're driven, they're all experts in the thing they do. Everyone's on the bus and everyone's in for the journey. So it's like, that's great, that's brilliant. We've got great clients. We've got they're respectful of the knowledge that we've got. We are respected. They are respected experts in their field. They're proper experts of what they do. They are growing their awareness and they're flag wavers for the service. So I was like, that's a really good thing. Again, current reality, cash flow isn't as consistent as we want it to be. So I've like, right, well, I want more consistent cash flow. I want to grow the MRR, which is the monthly recurring revenue. We want more profitable clients, because again, we've got some that will launch with us and it just takes ages to launch. So the profitability of it dies on its arse. What is the other current reality? The marketing is not quite working. The clarity of the message isn't quite bang on. The communication channels don't quite work. We're starting to run ads, but we haven't done that yet. So we're not, where we want to be. I then looked at like the part. I don't know why, it just came into my head straight. This was the first thing I drew actually. I was like, the puzzle is coming together. So I just drew this little puzzle piece. Fucking terrible. I was like, between the offerings that we've got, the new consultancy offering that we've got, the new branding and sort of like our overall consultancy piece that we've got, and the content marketing piece that we've got, CIM, so the Chartered Institute of Marketing have approved my course. Kind of a big deal. If you want to find out more, go to charteredinstituteofmarketing.com, I guess, and search podcast. You'll find my face on there. So that was all good. Focus. So we're dedicated. We decided on the next. Oh, sorry, no. So that was what's the current reality. Then I looked at the desired reality. And again, I'm sorry if this is awful to try and like follow along with, but Patty will really make it more explainable. That would do when she comes on. So I thought, right, where am I going to be at? And again, you write the word down, and you just draw a little picture that signifies it, because again, then it will stick in your head.
Yeah.
So I just put happy, driven, opportunistic, present, half house. Our half house is down there on the right hand side. That was the only like personal thing that I had, because that kind of relates back to the business. Amazing cash flow, award-winning podcast agency, marketing, working on automation, focused, stream of top podcasts. I want the top 20 podcasts weekly. That's like one of like the Bartlett gang, like Shag Married Annoyed. Like I want to have one that's constantly up there.
Like business marriage,
like
number
business
one.
Marriage. Consistent leads coming through the door. Increase the number of team, because we're going to have to get more team if we want to get to the turnover that we want to get. Creating daily high value content, in-house talent for all of the services. So I want a videographer there who's like, hey, let's do this as a video quickly. Because this event I went to had 32 team members. You've never seen so many fucking videographers. There were 6 people filming this event, but it was mega. They churn out content the next day. Yeah. There's super high value and testimonials. Anyway, top rated podcast for me on branding, because I think that'll be part of the overall strategy of growing personal brand. A1 clients. So again, we're now, sort of not in a disrespectful way, but we started off with really simple podcasts, whereas now we're getting more quite complicated ones, and ones that require, like recording soundscaping and narrative and scripting and all that kind of stuff. I want to be a guest on other major shows. 30% net profit, 100k months consistently. Sole focus for me on the agency is getting the attention, putting a 15 grand a month dividend out of the business. Because again, I was thinking, well, if I'm doing that and then you're doing 10 grand a month, 25 grand a month, we could actually afford that. We could afford that 3 million quid mortgage. But again, because I had done that clarity of what we needed, I was like, that's the numbers we need to get
probably
to.
Wouldn't at the minute with the mortgage rates. But.
Bringing in money, completely debt free, content industry celebrity. I'm not interested in being like macro famous, but micro famous although guys, I'd love to be, and having a half house. So that's what I drew down. But then
I love that.
You look at the 3 bold steps it's going to take you to get there. So I was like, right, what's the number one thing? Need to execute faster.
Yeah.
Just not pulling the trigger on stuff quicker. And when I look back, when I was financially doing okay a few years ago, just pulled the fucking trigger all day. Even on shit that didn't make any sense. We just like took massive action
Yeah.
constantly all day, every day. Focus. We need to decide on the next step and then execute one idea at a time. So we need to execute faster with focus. And then the third sort of bold step was a mindset thing, was that I need to become a leader, not a doer.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I didn't even think consciously, I was not even aware of that. And it just literally came out on the page. I was like, I need to be a leader, not a doer. And I was like, I need to be a better communicator to the team because we've got a great team.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they know as much stuff that's going on as I know that's going on. So everything that I'm doing, they should know that I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely.
And not from like here's how hard I'm working, but like otherwise, this fucking random geezer who looks like a shark from the side is just running around. That is disgusting.
What's
That's
that?
the biggest bit of flob ever.
Flobs.
Do you remember
Oh my God,
that?
flob.
Remember spitting when you were a kid and thinking you were cool. Anyway, so that's what I've done. So we're going to get Patty on to walk us through our...
That would be super cool.
Draw your future. Because actually, I've got to say, since, again, that I've had this clarity. I had a couple of clients approach me and I was like, do they fall into that A+
Did you draw all
category?
those arrow bits in the middle? Was that already given to you? Oh, right.
Yeah, so that was already created. But she makes this beautiful... hopefully we'll do it with her. I think she'll ask us it and then she'll draw it for us.
Exciting.
But sorry, back to the point of this. Having that clarity has made me, as I say, I've had certain sales calls this week, but because I know what I'm trying to get to, I'm just like, this is the price. This is how fast we turn it around.
Yeah.
I had a phone call yesterday. The guy was like, but what if we did multiple shows? How much will you charge me then? I was like, the same price times 3.
Yeah, because it's the same amount of time.
What about a discount? We don't do discounts.
Yeah, because it's the same amount of time.
Because we give you so much value, you don't need a discount.
Yeah.
If you ask for
and also,
a discount, you're asking for the wrong
like
metric.
What we say as well, if you're doing a service that then is not necessarily bringing direct money, but it's making an impact, then it's an investment that's worth it, isn't it?
Yes, Hayley. Yes, it is. But the most important thing...
I feel like I want to go and do that.
Step into the person that you want to be.
Step into the person you want to be. I was going to sing a song and then I kind of lost my way.
With the person you want to be, do that. Would they sing that song? I guess I probably would, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I'm going to find my person.
You are the person.
I'm going to find
There is
me.
no alt self.
Who am I? I'm going to do a lot of reflection.
I think you should.
Over the next week.
Why not? So hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast. A very different one. Sorry, I'm not sure if there's anything useful in it.
Yeah, I think there is.
I think we've got some shit off our chest, really.
I think it's just about everyone just going, designing that life. But you need to sit and really visualise and think about what it is. Yeah. And if you're thinking about the person that you want to be, you need to be that person now.
Guys, motivational. If you're thinking about it, you need to be it.
I winked in the camera.
2023.
I hate that.
That was horrible. We will be back next week with another instalment of the podcast. Maybe we'll be one step closer to all of those goals and those dreams. Stepping into the people that we want to become. But
into the people.
You've got to step into your reality.
I don't know.
What are you talking about? You've been watching too much of The Boys. It's affected you. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
This show is a Phonic Media production.